Hey, it's Arlen Schweiger, editor of CE Pro, and today I'm speaking with Cynthia Menna, Vice President and General Manager of AV at ADI Global, to address the growing opportunities for integrators in the multi-dwelling unit or MDU sector. Cynthia, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much, Arlen. Thanks for having us.
So, Cynthia, as you know, our June issue and June spotlight on cepro.com is all about the MDU space. Um, can you start a little bit? I think everyone knows who ADI is probably as the big distributor, but can you give us a brief overview of the range of solutions that ADI offers to the custom integrator channel?
Absolutely. So ADI is, globally the largest low voltage distributor, very well known, as many folks know in the security space, but cover, along the lines of security, CCTV, fire intrusion solutions, of course. In addition, we've got a growing datacom, infrastructure cabling division, residential audio, networking, and AV solutions as well. So we really like to consider that we're a one-stop shop from a low voltage perspective to our customers and to the industry. Continue to make investments around services, supports, and really drive enhancements to our line card, but also to the value that we offer to our customers.
As I mentioned, our June spotlight and in our upcoming print issue it should be out now. We did what we call our research deep dive, and we focused on the MDU market because it's such a big playing field for potential business. You have all ranges of areas that can be covered, whether it's for the property managers, for the tenants, public spaces, lobbies, things like that. What are some of the applications that ADI is really honing in on and seeing trending at the moment?
So, I personally love the category just because your point, there's so many different facets to the MDU market. We certainly saw, as COVID, but also post-COVID, it continues. Really, the huddle spaces, common areas, the video conferencing category in particular, in those common areas and those kind of shared workspaces, because a lot of folks did shift to work from home and continue to bring the office experience into their homes, into their home offices, into their apartments or condos, etc. So we see that as a big area. We're also seeing, because those common areas now starting to pick up again, as we're more face to face, entertainment areas. So obviously in an MDU space, you're always trying to position yourselves as to how do you attract people in your market, into your building, into your facility, and offering really top top class, world class amenities. So luxury speaker and theater areas, luxury viewing areas where you've got video walls where you can watch the game, and as a group bring in folks to also share that experience with you. But even at the very basic, I mean, we're seeing a lot in the apartment MDU space where people want security. They want the safety. They're putting in more basic security systems, whether that's because they're traveling more now back on the road. But we're seeing a lot of more that DIY, do it for me applications, which I think is a huge opportunity for our integrators, is a do it for me category as well.
Sure, and I know that down in my area where I live in the Triangle area of North Carolina, these types of places are just popping up like crazy in development. And yeah, there's a whole range of things. And even in the HOAs down here, a lot of the clubhouses wind up
Yes.
having they'll have home theaters that people can go to, and they, fit a dozen or more of the residents there. And the same things are happening in the common spaces as you noted. And I imagine also there's a lot of distributed audio and video that would go along with it.
Loads of distributed audio, loads of like you mentioned, kind of the entertainment spaces that you can use in a common area. So we're seeing a lot more, again, video wall applications, larger, what you could call kind of super theater solutions, where again you can do viewing parties and so forth, and host events. So again, that's a part of an amenity that those developments offer. Which are those kind of, hey, you may have a smaller footprint, but you can still entertain in big groups, and bring crowds together as well.
Right, and then even with things that are happening at the local development, I would imagine a video wall application would do well for that in a common space too. If there's come to the pool party this Saturday or
Absolutely. So through
things
digital
like that.
signage, welcoming new, welcoming guests, talking about events, talking about what's going on, in the community, or even outside the community, recognizing, anniversaries or parties, etc. We see a lot of digital signage. We're also seeing digital signage, in MDU markets, from a security perspective with virtual assistants, right? So instead of having someone, man a gate, that's done virtually. So people can actually log in, see who's at the gate, but you don't need to have a physical person at the gate, vetting guests, etc. So there's a lot of applications for signage and video technology, but of course, the audio at the pool, the audio in the common areas, and even we've seen some spaces that are, large and vast because they offer mixed use. So they're, MDU combined with, retail and hospitality needs. And those systems become very, very commercial in their use and application, but tie in a ton of technology on the audio and video side of things.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. So let's delve a little bit more into the convergence of security and the smart home and home entertainment elements of these MDU projects. Certainly, a lot of our integrators on the CE Pro side are going to come at it from the smart home and home AV aspect, and they'll be very proficient in that. And some of them are still learning more how to get into security, and then vice versa on the security side they're experts on that side, but they're learning about everything that's available on the smart home and entertainment side.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is ADI helping to sort of bridge those two together and foster better relationships on MDU project collaborations?
Well, we offer, Arlen, an awful lot of support, to our customers, in partnership with our suppliers, but we've also invested a lot in our systems team, our technical sales and engineering team. That's a great opportunity for a customer who's got a project or an opportunity to bring that to us. We can help consult with them, work with them, and even get the end user, get the project managers involved on those calls, walking through technology. That's a big part of it. The second part of it's really training. Whether that's done virtually, in person, hands-on, we've got over 100 locations where we can facilitate, really in-depth, trainings for our customers, again, in conjunction with our supplier partners, in conjunction with, industry, leaders as well, to get them certified on products, get them educated as well. Taking that one step further, we also, through our acquisition of Herman, acquired Herman Integration Services, which is a sub-labor business. That sub-labor business, allows our customers to do a few different things. It allows them to flex their workforce, but it especially allows a security customer who may not have someone on their staff that's done quote unquote AV, leverage HIS and have that technical expertise on staff. We're an extension of that company. We work on their behalf, but we allow them to flex not only their physical footprint, but also their workforce. That company can also do programming, engineering, line drawings, and we're talking about some of those really, bigger super systems in those mixed use environments. They become very, very valuable to really provide a high level of expertise, even project managing projects in partnership with our partners. So a lot of technical expertise, a lot of product expertise, and again, working with our supplier partners to ensure that we're offering best in class guidance and consulting to our customers.
Wow, that's really impressive to hear about, Cynthia. Thanks for explaining all that.
Sure.
Can you tell us about if I imagine ADI was at the ISC West show again this past March. Can you tell us a little bit about how conversations went there in talking with dealers and integrators about the MDU space and how they can better sort of get into it if they haven't already? Because we know it's one of those areas where on our side, the CE Pro side, it's really kind of what we like to call a resi-mercial opportunity because it kind of mix, those residential skills and the commercial skills.
Right. And I think I would agree with you. I think we've got, some, people within our customer database that really do focus on the MDU space as a specialty area, if you will. It's kind of their primary vertical that they go after. In general, I think, again, with especially as we saw, kind of through COVID, et cetera, where we saw, pickup in building and construction and looking at trends, you can't help but look at the MDU market as an opportunity, right? We've got to be balanced in how we work. When we're talking to customers, it is about not just products and solutions, but it's also about balancing your business and helping be good business advisors to our customers. So if it's someone who's strictly just doing residential 100% of the time, hey, have you considered commercial? And on the flip side, you're doing a ton of commercial. Have you looked at kind of some of these light subsets like MDU that again kind of cross over between resi and commercial? That would be natural, areas that they could expand their business into. I think what we also need to think about is how we can help our customers have that conversation. How do we enable them to go out and pitch and promote themselves in those spaces? So we work hard again to help with vertical market, application specific, literature to help drive that conversation, help make our customers more confident as well. Again, I think if you ask any customer, do you want to grow? What areas are you looking at? Everyone's going to say yes, right? I mean, we could all, everyone wants to grow, enhance their business. But it's how we can, kind of create the path and lead them, down a path of success, but giving them that support so they know that they're not in it by themselves.
Sure. And Cynthia, who are your dealers finding? I'm sure you talk mainly to the security dealers, but who are they finding as the primary contacts on these projects? Is it the developer? Is it a property manager? Are they dealing directly with tenants, things like that? How does that, can you just give a little explanation about that?
Yeah, I think it's, the builder developer first, is creating those solutions, really getting involved with at the GC level as well, right? Kind of how you get involved in the project, what part of that project that you own down to the GC. At the tenant level, that becomes a different conversation because it does vary. You've got MDU applications where they're, tenant owned, and you've got MDU applications where they're, rental lease opportunities, and that discussion certainly varies. Where we, again, as I mentioned before, where we do see opportunity is that do it for me. So you've got the tenant who moved in, they've got some technology or they want to enhance the technology in their space. And maybe it's even temporary. They're not going to be there because they're leasing or renting. They're not going to be there for years. I think that's a big opportunity for us to help get our customers' arms around as well. But again, primarily where we're seeing the biggest success is going to be at that builder developer level, working with them to create the packages and solutions, getting ahead of the technology, so that they're the ones, writing specifications around those common areas, that theater viewing room, and making sure it's a cohesive technology solution as well. What you don't want to have is disparate technology, where you've got one platform in one space and another platform competing with each other. You want that to be sort of a really nice experience for the user, or the tenant, if you will. So you're walking in, you're pressing the same button that says all on, it does the same thing in the common area or the common office area as well.
Right. And obviously we hear that all the time these days, just in single family homes where things need to be as easy as possible.
Yes.
It's even more important on the MDU side, which
Yeah.
I think people are recognizing.
Yeah.
Lastly, Cynthia, I know you mentioned some of the training and support that ADI provides. Can you just tell us a little more in depth about some of those things, whether it's, education, on-site support, any kind of leave behind material that you might help your dealers develop to talk about their portfolio? What are some of those things?
Sure. So from a support perspective, again, I mentioned the systems team, our technical sales and engineering group, all centrally located. You can reach them via email, via phone. Again, they will provide very hands-on tactical, get them on a Teams or Zoom meeting as well. Of course, through our branches and our branch network, we host trainings daily. Again, that could be in partnership with a supplier, with an industry trade partner as well. Bringing our customers in and their employees in to train them. We'll also do on-site training classes. It's not uncommon for us, especially with our larger SIs, to bring a handful of suppliers in that work together to really kind of walk them through an ecosystem solution. We post all of our trainings on our website. We also have our Expo series that's been traveling around right now. Today we're in Cleveland. So we have our Expo series where we offer a variety of training classes, whether it's technology specific or business specific, as I mentioned, which I think is a big thing that as a distribution partner, we need to be able to sell you not just products, but enable you to get those in front of the right people. You mentioned one thing about kind of qualifying and helping our customers. We've got a great form that our customers can use if they're talking to an end user. It's really just helping them ask the qualifying questions, because sometimes that's the hardest part, is saying, where do I start with this project? What questions do I need to know? So it takes some of the legwork. So we tee up the questions they should be asking the end user to help us qualify kind of the next phase of the conversation in the project. So it's something that they can very simply use. They can download it. They can put it on their smartphone, fill out, check the boxes, send it to us, and then really progress the conversation and the opportunity as well.
Fantastic. Well, we can certainly see why ADI Global and you feel like this is a very great opportunity for dealers, and certainly a lot there for them to get into in this category. So with that, Cynthia, thank you very much for giving us valuable ADI insights into the MDU sector.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us.